Mayorkas grilled time and time again. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has proven himself to be one of the biggest frauds, in my view, in the Biden White House. And this week he did nothing to help his cause when he testified before both the House and the Senate. Senator Hawley blasted Mayorkas after it was revealed thousands of migrant kids are actually working in factories in the United States. Watch this.
Stunning to hear you say that the prior administration reunited children with their parents.
Oh, I see. So this is their fault? A moment ago, you were crowing about the fact that you treated children so well, and yet we find tens of thousands of children who are forced to work as slaves because of your policies, and you turn around and blame a prior administration. You should have resigned long ago. And if you cannot change course, you should be removed from office.
To break that down, joining me now, House Homeland Security Committee member, Republican Congressman Anthony D'Esposito. Congressman, as always, thanks so much for joining us. And look, multiple colleagues of yours have called on Mayorkas to step down or resign. You just heard from Senator Hawley the same. I know you're not in Congress to talk about what previous administrations did. You're a new guy in town. You're there to roll up your sleeves and get things done. Do you agree with them that this guy should be gone here?
Absolutely. You know, like I told you during the campaign, that's what this is all about. It's about getting there, rolling up your sleeves, and putting the people's work first. And Alejandro Mayorkas has done a terrible job as Secretary of Homeland Security. When you take an oath, you need to go out there and live that oath. You need to, you know, as I told him in the hearing, every day he should be waking up, protecting and serving and defending our homeland. And he's not doing it. Instead of focusing on the things that are important, instead of focusing on the crime, the illegal narcotics, instead of focusing on the way that the Customs and Border Patrol agents are treated under his lack of leadership, we have Democrats focusing on climate change. It's absolutely bizarre, our world. And Mayorkas made it clear that he has no intent in changing course, and he thinks that everything at the border is A-OK.
So I remember covering you when you were out there on the trail and nobody was working harder than you. You were a decorated cop. You put your life on the line for New York for many years. And I remember you used to say, you know, an older cop told you, drive around with the windows open and you could smell where the trouble's coming from. I see you're in the car. Are you driving around D.C.? Do you smell the swamp down there or what?
No. So I am not in D.C. tonight. I'm actually headed. I'm back on Long Island. I'm headed to 4 installation dinners tonight to thank the men and women of the volunteer fire service here in New York for all the work they do. That's you know, like I said, windows down. You got to hear the streets and smell the streets, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, thank God we got you down there. Now, Mayorkas, this guy had the audacity to go over to the Senate and repeat this line. Wednesday after testifying to you guys after he testified at the Senate, that 6 million illegals had been let in the country under his watch. I want you to listen to this and get your thoughts.
It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day, day and night, to increase its security.
What did you think when you heard that?
Well, he said something very similar to me, and his quote to me was that he views the control at the border through a reasonable lens, and I think my response to him was that his lens stinks. It's very clear that there's no control at the border, and the thing that I think made me most angry is that, you know, he went there and he's trying to talk about all the money that he wants from more Customs and Border Patrol agents. Now, the Republicans and our chairman, we believe we want more Customs and Border Patrol agents, but the fact remains the same. When I was down at the border and I spoke to those brave men and women, they don't want to work for Secretary Mayorkas. That's the issue here. It's not that they want to leave because they hate the job. They want to leave because they hate their so-called leader. And like I said on Wednesday, you know, there's nothing worse as a member of law enforcement when you know that your leadership doesn't have your back. We saw it in New York City. We saw it in blue states and blue cities throughout this country. And that's the reason why law enforcement is, they're under siege.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's why there's record retirements in law enforcement across the country by the most senior experienced guys who we need, because they know the leadership in the blue cities no longer has their back. But before we go, you had a moment in the hearing on Wednesday that really caught my eye. I want you to take a look at this.
It's not a Republican issue. It's an American issue. And when we go back to our home states and we talk to individuals, they don't care what party we're from. You know what they care about? They care about crime increasing in their community. They want people to have the American dream. And I think that's what we're missing here today. We want people to have the American dream. You know what we want? We want them to come through the front door.
Look, I think personally, I saw your whole campaign. They were saying, D'Esposito's got no shot. He's way behind. But you went out there and said, crime, 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 families, 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 American values. And that's what made you a winner. You're one of the guys that took back the House. How are they selling that to the voters on their side? But more importantly, what should be the GOP message going into 2024?
I think that the message remains the same. It's about listening to the voters. It's about listening to the people that you talk to every day. It's about going to these installation dinners tonight, talking to the local firefighters. It's about going to the train stations and talking to those heading into the city each and every day. And right now, what they're focused on is their pocketbooks, and they're focused on crime. And that's what we're going to continue to fight for. At least that's what I'm going to continue to fight for in the House of Representatives. And people could say all they want. It's not a national issue, or it's not a federal, it's a state issue. We can do our best on the federal level to make sure that we answer the call for the people that sent us here. And that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do.
Congressman Anthony D'Esposito, hopefully I'll see you over at the Coral House. You keep cruising around with those windows open. And thank you for everything you're doing for us, brother. God bless.
You got it. Be well, brother.
All right.